Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for your stimulus check and stimulus package update. If you don't care, a favor to me, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and it bugs me appreciated. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm gonna go over this article, guys, with you all, and it's the new bill that they put together, and I'm gonna go over it with you. Excuse me, and go over some things that's in it, and what's going on, and a timeline, and so on. And but now, I do think that they'll have this done by October the 2nd, 1st or 2nd. I do think it'll be done, but that time signed into law, because thanks to the airline, because come November, October the 1st, the airline would be, they would be filing bankruptcy. There'd be no airlines. There'd be nobody flying. So this was put into this bill. So therefore, now if this had not been put into this bill, then this bill we probably wouldn't be getting no kind of aid, no kind of help until after election time. And that's sad to say, but thanks to the airline that they're going broke, that's going to help us get the American people their stimulus check. So let me go over this with you guys, and because I'm not ready myself, I just want to go over it. I never read them first. I always read them straight out to you all, just like they come out. But if there's anything I think I need to go over, I'll do that at the end of the video. So, I don't know how long this article is. I don't care if it's all night, I'll sit here and read it. I just don't go through it, picking pieces out to read to you guys. I'm going to read the whole thing, that way it's covered. But we'll start out. And guys, I do appreciate you guys. I mean, you know, there's so many people out there doing this, but I do it because it's my opinion, and if I can help somebody understand something, then that's fine. I'm happy with that. So, you know, I don't claim to be no professional, by no means. You know, most of this is common sense, and I do know a little bit about the government, and what I do know is we gotta get these scumbags out of there come November. That I do know. I can't believe that two people, especially one person, Nancy Pelosi, has held this up and treated the American people the way she has. And I can't help to go on to say, bragging about $12 ice creams or whatever it was, and just stupid stuff like that. And people can't even buy something to eat, can't even pay their bills, can't even pay their electric bill, water bill, nothing like that. It's a shame. I mean, these people need to be thrown out on their heads in the middle of the street. I mean, they're scums. Let somebody like that give them all that power. That job has made them millionaires. I mean, more than millionaires. I mean, they do these favors for their rich friends. They can pass any kind of bill they want to at any time. But when it comes to helping American people, what have they done for the last 2 months? They've bickered right back and forth, like a bunch of babies with crappy diapers. Truth's the truth. Okay, guys, enough of that. Now, House Democrats are preparing a new, smaller coronavirus relief package expected to cost about $2.4 trillion as they try to forge ahead with talks with the Trump administration. A person familiar with the plan said Thursday. Now, the bill would include enhanced unemployment insurances, direct payments to American people, paycheck protection program, small businesses, loan funding, and aid to airlines. Now, loan funding and aid to airlines, among the other provisions, the person said to reach the price tag, Democrats would chop roughly $1 trillion from their previous proposal for a fifth pandemic aid plan. Now, the party aims to restart stimulus negotiations with the White House after talks fell apart last month. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has repeatedly pushed Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to boost the administration's roughly $1.3 trillion offer by another $1 trillion. Pelosi has directed Democratic committee chairs to draft legislation, according to which first reported on plans to craft another bill. The House could vote on a bill as soon as next week. Now, but Democrats have not yet decided on a plan, the outlet reported. Now, Democrats and Republicans have failed to come to an agreement on more aid to combat the health and economic damage from the crisis. Now, even after a $600 per week supplemental unemployment benefit, a federal moratorium on evictions, and the widow to apply for PPP loans lapsed, hopes for more legislation dwindled in recent weeks as Republicans grew worried of spending and election year politics infiltrated the process. Now, House Democrats passed their more than $3 trillion aid package in May earlier this month. Now, Senate Democrats blocked a roughly $500 billion Republican plan. Now, the GOP put together a scaled-back bill after a measure costing about $1 trillion. Now, that they released in July failed to lead to a bipartisan breakthrough. The discussions about a relief proposal come as concerns grow about the potential for the U.S. economy recovery. Now, boosted by the trillions in relief Congress has passed this year to falter Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, among the economic experts, has warned the economy could take a hit without more physical stimulus. Now, while the U.S. has enjoyed several months of strong jobs growth, after coronavirus-related shutdowns led to widespread layoffs, the national unemployment rate still came in at 8.4% when last measured in August. On Thursday, the Labor Department said initial jobless claims rose slightly to 870,000 last week. Now, the November 3rd election has, of course, factored into lawmakers' calculations on whether to pass more aid and how to structure it. Vulnerable Senate Republicans and House Democrats have pushed for concrete actions, and they can show constitutes when campaigning as both parties try to keep their majorities. As Pelosi has repeatedly said, she would only pass a comprehensive pandemic aid plan. Some House Democrats have pushed to approve more targeted legislation. Now, okay, guys. Now let me go over a little the unemployment benefits for you all a little bit. Let me go over a little bit of this. Now, Trump said he would send jobless Americans a $400 weekly payment. Yet, because, excuse me, guys, because the policy would require states to come up with $100 of that expanded benefit. Now, most people will actually end up with $300 a week. Now, though Montana, Kentucky, and West Virginia have found a way to give out the whole amount. What's more, states might not have more than 6 weeks worth of these payments. In some cases, it may be even less. South Dakota has said it won't even apply for the funds at all. Now, at least 20 states start paying extra $300 weekly unemployment benefits. Now, the CDC banned evictions, but some renters are still vulnerable still haven't filed your 2019 tax return, and penalties are about to get steeper. Now, and to qualify for the subsidy, you have to receive at least $100 a week in unemployment benefits from your state. That could leave out more than 900,000 people. Now, beyond the federal boost, most jobless Americans will continue to get state unemployment benefits. Now, thanks to the CARES Act, most workers will be able to collect these payments for 39 weeks or even longer in some cases. Now, if more stimulus aid isn't passed, spending likely will weaken, and the approximately 11 million Americans who have lost payroll jobs may have more difficult time getting back to work. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, now, we will see that the economy has a harder time sustaining the growth that we've seen, Powell said. That's the risk. But now both Republicans and Democrats generally agree that financial aid is indeed, according to Mills, including enhanced federal unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, small business relief, including forgiveness of loans, schools, health care, state and local governments, and airlines. Taken together, the initiatives could make up a package in the 1.5 trillion to 2 trillion range, he said. Those figures are just an estimate and subject to change for state and local aid. For example, there is bipartisan support for providing more help, but those talks break down when it comes to how much money to provide and where it is directed, Mills said. Senator Mike Grepo, Republican Idaho, chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, said during Thursday's hearing that Congress needs to act now, moving separately on initiatives both parties agree on might help them do that, he said. I believe that there are many items that we have already reached agreement on, or which we could reach agreement on very rapidly if we had the willingness to simplify it and take them up and do them individually. Now, you could get 47 Democratic votes for $600 a week this afternoon if you're willing to do it, Brown said. Brown complied to Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin that the administration's lack of action on this issue is the equivalent of saying to 600,000 individuals who are unemployed in this state. And I think that's just a gross misstatement and exaggeration, Mnuchin said. I'm willing to sit down anytime for bipartisan legislation in the Senate. Let's pass something now and quickly. Democrats are unwilling to negotiate on any package worth less than $2.2 trillion, Mnuchin said. During the hearing, House Democrats are reportedly putting together a scaled-back aid package, though the total cost is said to be in the neighborhood of the $2.4 trillion. Now, politicians have been able to prolong passing a package because the typical hard deadlines they normally would face have changed completely. Now, summer recess, for instance, would have been one of them. Going home in August really took the pressure off Congress to get something done. Now, Mills said Congress wasn't being held hostage until a deal was produced. Another catalyst for action typically has been the markets, Mills said. The markets climbed to new highs over the summer, also took pressure off lawmakers to get a deal done, he said. But as the economy has continued to reopen and many jobs have come back, the urgency to act has been further reduced. Now, one thing that could bring lawmakers back to the negotiating table is the growing need for more disaster relief in the midst of an active hurricane and wildfire season, Miles said. I'm sorry, Mills. I don't keep saying Miles, it's Mills. Now, if Trump wins re-election, that's probably the strongest argument for getting a post-election bill done, Mills said. Now, if Biden wins, however, that could take away the initiative for Trump to act and may push further relief off until after the inauguration, Mills said. So, I just want to go over those last parts, details of different things. But the first part is the bill. That was the important part. They've got to do this because it's important. The airlines, the direct payments to the people, the unemployment, the PPP, the eviction moratorium, all that stuff. I mean, these people. I mean, it's. I mean, it just can't get done faster enough, y'all. I mean, this should have been done 2 months ago. And, you know, it's a shame that these politicians, I mean, I said this over and over, and but it's just the truth. Everybody's got their own opinions about what's going on, but, I mean, Nancy Pelosi has really made a name for herself. These politicians has really showed us that they really care about us, right? Yeah, sure. They don't care if we live or die, guys. They just don't care. And you know what? No hard feelings, no love lost. Because I feel the feeling is neutral because I could care less about them. But if anything happens tomorrow, I don't think anything new will happen. It might, means this is going on. It's possible. But if it does, I'll always make a video to let you know something about whatever's going on. But if there's any breaking news, I'll be sure to make a video about it. But guys, take care. We'll make it through this hard times. Gotta make sure of it. And until next time, peace out.